What's up guys, Black Swan here, and today we're going to be doing our very first episode of the game Battle Brothers. Now Battle Brothers is one of my all-time favorite games. It's a hex-based, tactical squad RPG style type game. It's kind of hard to explain if you're familiar with games like Tactics Ogre or what other type games that are like this? Disgaea, I believe that's the name of it. You'd be sort of familiar with how this game is going to function, except it doesn't have such a vast stat system. Let's go ahead and jump in so I can explain it to you. Now, this game currently has 3 expansions. I have these 3 expansions purchased and installed, but I'm going to be playing the basic playthrough so you can get an overall understanding of what the game is. So this is, I believe, a new company. Let me see. I believe this is the normal way that you start off the game. You start off with 3 mercenaries, and that's it. So let's go ahead and do a new company to start the game with. So when you first start out the game, you're allowed to choose what your banner is going to look like. Now this is important because this is how your shield icons are going to look for your soldiers, or for your battle brothers, excuse me. If you ever paint their shields to represent your colors, they're going to look like the color of your banner. So it is important that you choose a banner that you like, that represents your playstyle. For this one, let's go ahead and let's browse through them, shall we? So you guys can get a understanding of what these are. So as you can see, we have we've got quite the selection of banners. Let's go ahead and go with this one. I kind of like this one, and we get to change our company name. So let's go ahead and change it to the Hogshead. Alright, our company name is the Hogshead, and we have a hog's head on our banner. And I kind of like the colors green and red. So let's go with economic difficulty. This is how the market is going to respond to the items that you sell, what they're going to have in stock, how easy it'll be to buy and purchase items in different towns for money, because you can also trade in this game. So let's go ahead and go with beginner just to show off the game. Starting funds, we're gonna go with high just to show off the game. And the combat difficulty, let's go ahead and go to veteran. I don't really mind playing on beginner just to show you guys, but you know what? Actually, let's just do everything beginner just so you guys can get a good feel for how the game is gonna play out. Normally I would change the settings, but since this is going to be an introductory to the game, a little chance to show off this game, because I've noticed not many people make videos on Battle Brothers, which I'm not really sure why. It's a great game, it's got great lore, and yeah, so let's go ahead and jump right in. The Hogshead. You soak in the cool morning air. As the sun slowly rises, so does a new chapter in your life. After years of bloodying your sword for meager pay, you've saved enough crowns to start your very own mercenary company. With you are Sigbold the Merciless, Reinhold, and Bertolf, with whom you fought before side by side in the Shield Wall. You are their commander now, the leader of the Hogshead. As you travel the lands, you should hire new men in villages and cities to fill your ranks. Okay, so without reading the rest of this, it's basically letting you know your backstory. So we just started the game off in the middle of nowhere. We have a town to our right, and we have a town to our left. So for ease of quests and items, I'm going to go ahead and start my adventure on the right side, because if you look to your left, these cities are very far and spaced apart. There's a giant forest over here, and God knows what's in there. There's werewolves, there's spiders, there's zombies, there's all kinds of monsters in forests. So let's go ahead and play it a little safe while we start. So we're going to go ahead and start our adventure running to Kronaguk. Now the great thing about this game is that it's completely procedurally based, meaning every time you play this game, the map is going to change, the villages' names are going to change, everything about the game changes. So there's no 2 playthroughs that are ever going to be identical. Matter of fact, now that we just got to town, let me go ahead and take a second to show you my roster. So we have Sigbold, we have Bertolf, and we have Reinhold. Now each battle brother has its own set of stats that are going to be unique to him or her. I'm pretty sure there's women in the game now. I don't remember. That might be a mod. But for right now, all we have is men, so we're just going to worry about them. So if you look here, you have all these different stats. So let's just go ahead and run through them really quickly. You have this helmet and you have this armor, which is dictating how much armor points you have based on the armor you have equipped. So if I take this helmet off, See, he goes to 0 because he no longer has an item equipped. If you look where it says 45 right next to the helmet icon, that's the armor points. Right below it, it has hit points. So this is how much HP the guy has, how much damage he can sustain before ultimately your battle brother dies. Now if you notice here, it has 2 stars. That means that this battle brother has 2 out of 3 stars for his stat growth. So every time he levels up, his health is gonna be a lot better. It's gonna get a lot better rolls for when he levels up. So having a good health stat is pretty good, pretty important. It's not always needed, because you can find other ways to mitigate damage, you can find other ways to not get hit, but it's still a good beginner stat for you to have. Right underneath it is your action points. Every battle brother has 9 action points, and they refresh at the beginning of combat every turn. And each ability that you use in combat, whether it's moving or attacking, are going to cost AP. So if you look here, Thrust, it costs 4 AP to use and builds 10 fatigue, meaning that to use my spear and to thrust it one time, it's going to cost 4 action points, and I only have 9. So if I want to attack twice in a turn, I can do that, but that's going to use up all my action points. So we'll get a little bit more into that later. Fatigue is one of the most important stats of the game. Right now, you start off each battle with 0 fatigue, and right now this guy's cap is 77 fatigue, meaning that he can only get up to 77 fatigue points before he can no longer do anything. Each turn it goes down by 15 fatigue, but every time you move, every time you use an action, every time you get hit, your fatigue bar goes up. So you need to find a way to balance between combat movement and fatigue recovery, so that you don't just end up getting stuck in combat, not being able to do anything because you're too tired. Right underneath it, you have Resolve. Resolve is the bravery of your battle brothers. Now, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in this game. There's a lot of monsters. There's a lot of unfortunate side effects of watching the man next to you get his head cut off. So, right now, his stat is at 44, which is a pretty decent starting Resolve, meaning that it's going to be a while before he really runs away, because it's a pretty decent stat. Now, that doesn't mean he's impervious to fear, that doesn't mean he's impervious to resolve or morale checks. It just means that it's going to be a little harder for him to run. And finally, we have Initiative. Now, Initiative determines what order the battle brother is going to move in a turn. So throughout the game, or throughout a battle, every single character on the battlefield has an initiative value, and it's going to tick down from the highest person with the highest initiative down to the lowest. And in that order, from highest to low, is going to determine which battle brother gets to attack first, or move first, or has their actions first. So this is going to be your basic stat-wise for your character. Now, the most important stats are going to be to the right. So at the top, you have your melee skill. Sigbold starts off with a melee stat of 57, which is decent. It's not the best, but it's decent for a starting battle brother. He has a 44 range skill. Oh, let's go back to melee skill. Melee skill is going to determine how easy it is to attack in melee. Range skill, same thing, but it's going to be for bows, throwing weapons, and the like. Then you have melee defense. So right now he has a melee defense of 20 and 23. That's not that bad, but if I take his shield off, you'll notice that those stats aren't really all that great. He's not, I mean, actually a 5 and an 8 is actually not bad for an unarmed battle brother, but he doesn't have any stars on his melee. He doesn't have any stars on his range defense, so he's not going to be the best shield wall user. He's not going to be a good tank in combat. So in the early game, it's good to have characters that don't necessarily have a good ranged and good melee defense. Give them a shield. You'll thank me for that later. Right underneath that, you're going to see damage. Now, damage is how much damage he can do to the possible max amount and min amount of damage that he can do to a player or to a character. 25 to 30. Now this also is going to be negated by armor. So if your opponent is wearing armor, this value will change, but he can never do any more than 30 damage unless he critically attacks one of the characters. How you critical attack, you say? A critical is struck when you hit somebody's head. If you hit somebody's head, you crit and you do, I believe, 150% damage or 200 damage. Yeah, so this is the damage that he does, and it's completely dictated on the weapon that he has. Not only that, but there are some perks that I'll get into right now about some perks will give you extra damage, they'll give you negative modifiers elsewhere, and give you positive modifiers somewhere else. So we'll get back to that right now. effectiveness against armor. So the shield that the spear that he has right now is 90% effective against armor, meaning that he's not going to do the full damage to armor. So the spear is a perfect all-around starting weapon because its basic attack, it's called thrust. It gives you a 20% chance to hit, meaning it can turn even your worst Battle Brothers melee stat into a decent hit, and most of the time they are going to hit with the spear. It's really hard for them to miss with the spear. Not saying it's impossible, it's just harder. Next we have chance to hit the head. This means that he has a 25% crit chance. So every time he attacks, he has 25% chance to hit the head. If he hits the head, it's going to crit. And then finally we have vision. Vision is pretty important later on in the game. Also early, it helps dictate how far your battle brother can see. Now this is going to be different for every battle brother. So if you have a battle brother that has a vision of 5, he's not going to be able to see that well during the day. And at night, it's only going to get worse. So you want to keep an eye on vision, especially if you have an archer. So let's see, I have Bertolf. Bertolf has a vision of 7, meaning that he's going to be able to see a lot of things coming his way. So now let's go ahead and take one last look at these little perks. So right now, this is his background for all of our characters. They all have backgrounds. Right now, they're companions, meaning that these are the first characters that you start off your mercenary band with. So right now, Sigbold, he has Survivor. He has a 90% chance to survive if struck down and not killed by fatality, meaning that it's going to be really hard for this guy to stay dead. He may die at the end of a battle. But also, if his health reaches 0, there's a 90% chance that he will not die. So he's not immortal because he can die. It's harder for him to die. And then Reinhold, he has Team Player. He has a 50% lower chance to inflict friendly fire, which is good. Maybe not on his character per se because he doesn't have a ranged weapon, but still good nonetheless. And then Bertolf, he has Lucky, has a 10% chance to have any attacker require 2 successful attack rolls, meaning that every time somebody attacks him, there's a 10% chance that that dude has to attack him twice to get a hit, to successfully hit once. So that's a great thing. And he also has Survivor. So let's go ahead, and I do have some names that I would like to give out. So let's go ahead and name my axe guy. We're going to name him Reinhold. We're going to change his name to Garcia. Garcia, and he's gonna be a 2-handed axeman. So let's go ahead and give him that name. Actually, yeah, that's fine. And then we have Sigbold, the Merciless, and we're gonna go ahead and name him Cracio. And then we have Bertolf. Bertolf, who are we gonna name you, Bertolf? We're gonna name you Pasha Bertolf. Alright, so if you recognize your name in the game, congratulations, you made the cut. That doesn't mean your name is not going to appear. This is just the names that I have started with. So, without further ado, I've already talked your ear off a lot about how the stats work. I feel like the rest is going to be self-explanatory. So we just got to our first little village, right? Up here we have our contracts that are available. We have our gold, our food, our tools, our ammunition, and our medical supplies. Now, every single building you see are clickable, except for these back ones. And each one has their own feature. So the inn, I can pay for a drink for my friends or for my companions, so they become a little bit more boosted in morale. So let's just go ahead and buy them a drink. All right, they're in better mood, which is good for their fighting ability. And now we're gonna go to hire this little group of transients sitting down here at the corner. Let's go ahead and hire some extra hands. So we have Balin the fisherman, and we have Gernot. Gernot, when it comes to death, worms take the flesh and time the bones. He is a grave robber. I don't really know if I want that guy on my team. Not right now. So we're going to go ahead and go to the marketplace, and we're going to buy some starting items. Now, nets are always useful in this game. They're a one-use item, but they completely render an enemy unmovable, and it takes away from their fighting ability and their defense ability. So early on, if you get encountered by somebody particularly strong, you throw a net on them and it completely messes with their stats. So it's a great way to take somebody down early on. And we're gonna buy an extra helmet. While we're here, we might as well buy a spear, because I know there's gonna be somebody else that I want to purchase. And we're gonna buy some more food. So I'm gonna go ahead and sort everything. I'm gonna go to my inventory option. Let's go ahead and give this guy his cap. Give him this one. And we're gonna go ahead and head out. So let's see if we can take any contracts that are gonna allow me to travel to another location. Judging from experience, this is good payment for this task. You'll be paid 110 crowns in advance and another 430 when the job is done. Secure the old graveyard. I'll need some time to think about that one because I do not have enough soldiers in my company right now. I only have 3. It looks like this guy wants me to... This guy also wants me to escort him to 2 days travel down to the south. I don't have enough soldiers with me right now. I played this game enough to know that I don't have enough soldiers with me to accept any big quests other than delivering merchandise, which I feel comfortable doing because I know I can move. But when you're protecting a caravan, you're on a fixed route. I mean, you can't move. If you see enemies coming your way, you can't deviate from the road. You have to meet them head on, which is not good for right now. So I came to Burkwall to see if I can hire any more soldiers. Let's see, we have Alwyn, and right here you can see their hiring cost. Now these guys are all pretty expensive and I don't want to spend that much gold on these guys, but at 150 gold for an apprentice, they learn faster than the normal people. That seems like a pretty decent price. I'm gonna go ahead and hire him, and let's check out what his stats are, shall we? So as you can see, he has a pretty good decent starting health. He is strong, meaning he has 10 extra fatigue, and he also has a star in his fatigue. He has a star in his melee defense and a star in his range defense. Alright, so this guy's going to be our first little tank. He's not the best in melee right now, so let's see if we can find him some armor and possibly a shield. Ooh, and would you look at that, I found some padded leather early game. That's actually something really good. Let's go ahead and grab 2 of those just for now. Let's also grab that guy a helmet. So we're going to give our axeman, we're going to give him padded leather armor. And then, let's see. Since this guy has a lot of fatigue right now, I'm going to go ahead and give him the extra padded leather. I'm going to give him a shield. And I'm going to give him the helmet. So now, he's a lot beefier, he's a lot tankier. And let's go ahead and give him the hood. He looks cooler that way. So as you can see, we have 2 spearmen, and we have an axeman, and we have our crossbowmen. We have a pretty decent little lineup of soldiers right now. Everybody is looking pretty good, so let's go ahead and let's head back and see if we can secure that graveyard now. Now I feel confident. We have 4 soldiers. It's not a giant army, but they have pretty decent equipment. They have got good armor. I feel confident. So let's go ahead. We have another contract available. What is this? Oh, I believe this is a traveling one. Perfect. So what I did is I just accepted a quest to send these guys some supplies. So like I said earlier, this is a delivery quest and not a caravan quest. This is a delivery, meaning that I get to choose how I get to the location. And right now I'm just following the main road because it's faster. During camp, as the company takes a break, you decide to address the men. So okay, so right now we're gonna decide what direction we want to take our company in. This is a little it's like a mission statement. So right now we need allies, or we need a strong company. Right now I kind of want to get the company back to 12 men, meaning I need 12 soldiers, and I'll be able to complete that mission statement. So that's going to be our first mission statement. Let's get up to 12 men, and right now we have 4. Alright, so I delivered the supplies to the Friedorf, and I got paid 130 crowns. Let's see if I can find anybody worth hiring over here. Oh, and would you look at that, I have a very, very strong lineup of men. This is great. I have a farmer, and farmers all around the board are great hires. Why are they great hires, Black Swan? I'll tell you. They have, on average, they have more health, they have more fatigue, and they're usually pretty decent in combat, whether either they're defense oriented or melee oriented. So let's go ahead and hire the farmer. And we have 2 millers. Now millers are also right up there with farmers, and these guys are at 170 apiece and 130. I cannot turn that down. Let's go ahead and grab them. Okay, so right now we're gonna go to the marketplace. Let's see if I can find any more weapons. Now see, if you can see here, you can see that this spear costs 204, but it's at 100% durability. I have a lot of tools right now, so I don't mind buying a spear for that's taking some damage for cheaper, only because I don't have the money to really be buying everything that I can right now. As you can see, I'm also going to buy this worn down shield. Overnight, all these weapons are going to be taking repair, and it's going to take away from my tools and supplies. So let's go ahead and get one more of these, and let's see what we can equip on our guys, shall we? Oh, would you look at this guy? This guy's going to be a mega tank. This guy is a beefcake. This is Hakon the Shieldman. So if you look at him, he has 3 melee defense, and 3 stars in his melee defense, and 2 stars in his health, and 1 star in his initiative, meaning that he's going to be able to move first and get into combat and pretty much soak up damage for everybody. So let's go ahead and give him... This guy is a monster. Let's go ahead and... I like his helmet, his little helmet right now. So he's going to be completely melee oriented. And let's go ahead and change his name, shall we? Okay, so if I can get to where I had the names for these characters. I remember there's one gentleman who wanted to be named Ronald. Ronald, congratulations, man. You made the cut. Ronald the Shield. Alright, good job, Ronald. You're in the game. Alright, so now we have these 2 millers. And this guy is also, would you look at that? This guy is also a super tank. He's got 3 stars in his melee, and he's got pretty decent health. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep his little baseball bat for right now. And this guy. Well, this guy isn't really what I'm looking for. He's got good range defense. He's got good hit points, and he's got good resolve. So what I think I might do for this guy, I'm gonna make him the netter. I want this guy to be kind of hanging out in the back zone, since he's got pretty decent range defense, and he's gonna be running around. Let's go ahead and give him a knife while I'm at it, because this guy doesn't need it. Actually, we'll give him the baseball bat. Yeah, we'll give him the baseball bat, and we'll make sure he has his knife on him. So we're gonna need 1 more shield, and we need maybe 1 more armor if I can find it. Well, this guy doesn't look like to have a great selection of armor. I'm gonna give him some cheap cloth armor. Or you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give him the cheap cloth armor, thick tunic, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give him this armor. It's a lot stronger than that one, since he's gonna be in melee, and he's also gonna be given a... Actually, let's go ahead and take away this guy's shield, since this guy has a lot more promise. He's got a star in melee, and he's got a star in melee defense. Alright, as you can see, our squad is looking quite formidable. So let's go ahead and see if we have any contracts that we can take. We're gonna go ahead and take some time on this one. I want to go back up and see if I can conquer that graveyard. Alright. So as you can see, right now my men, they're all green. They haven't really been in a battle yet. They're all level 1. But their stats aren't really all that bad. I'm actually quite pleased with my stats. They aren't by any means going to be great hitters, but they are going to be good in defense. So it's a kind of, what is it, a catch-22? Okay, so we're gonna accept the quest. Secure the old graveyard. I get 110 crowns in advance and 430 on completion. Alright, let's track it down, shall we? Alright, gentlemen. This is it. Steel yourselves. Oh, before, I have 2 more names I gotta give out. We're gonna name this guy Dragon Flame. And then we have one last guy. Alwyn. Alwyn, let's go ahead and name you. I believe I have Garcia. We're gonna name this guy Axe Fairy. Congratulations, you two. You are in the game. Did I name everybody already? Rudolph. Rudolph, your name is going to be Two-Hander. Alright, congratulations, guys. Your names are in the game. Alright, so let's go ahead and attack whoever's in this abandoned graveyard. We don't know if they're undead. We don't know if they're bandits. We don't know if they're a witch. But we're going to find out right now. So it's nighttime. As you can see, I can't really see all that far because it's nighttime. During the nighttime, your vision goes down by I think 2 or 3 tiles. I do not remember at the moment. So I'm going to be skipping all my turns just for the sake of wanting to know who I'm fighting first. I would like them. Oh, okay. So as you can see, we're going to be fighting undead. Undead aren't particularly hard to fight. Their main strategy is that they can bog you down with bodies, meaning they don't suffer any fatigue. So they can fight and fight and fight and fight and fight, and they will never get tired. So if you see a bunch of them, right now it's an even battle, 7 on 7. I'm not worried about it in the slightest. I know that we have what it takes to beat these guys. But if the game takes longer than I would like, eventually my battle brothers are going to get tired, and these undead are going to be fresh as if they never fought. So that is something to look at and to keep track of. All right, so I'm going to skip the turns that I need right now. I'm going to go ahead and reload my crossbow and shoot with Pasha. All right, Axe Fairy, go ahead and drop down your spear wall and skip your turn. This guy, go ahead and two-hander, skip your turn. Garcia, skip your turn. And Dragon Flame, drop your spear wall. Alrighty, so now it's the undead turn. So when I drop a spear wall, it gives me a chance to get free attacks to anybody that moves into combat with me. As you can see, this guy got 3 free attacks. This guy got 2 free attacks. So for the cost of one action, so 4 action points, I was able to get 4 attacks with him, which is amazing because normally I'd only get 2. So Grecio, let's go ahead and move you up 1, and let's attack somebody. Let's attack somebody that's got the least amount of health. We're gonna attack this guy. He's got an 82% chance to hit. Let's go ahead and go for it. Alright, as you can see, this zombie's almost dead, but unfortunately I only have 3 out of 9 action points, meaning I can't attack because I need 4. Okay, so Pasha, let's scoot you a little closer. And now we have Axe Fairy. Let's go ahead and get you into combat, my dude. And two-hander, we're gonna throw you in there, and we're gonna give you a net. Let's put a net on this guy, because this guy is armored. He's got an armored helmet, and he's got a pretty damaging weapon. So I don't like that. Let's go ahead and see if Garcia can knock this guy out in 1 hit. Almost, Garcia, almost. Dragon Flame, you're gonna jump in there, buddy. And now we have Ronald. Ronald, get in there, buddy. 63, 58, and 63% chance to hit, and he missed. Alright, so let's see if Crescio can finish off. He did. He finished off the first enemy. Okay, Pasha, reload and fire. Right now, as you can see, there's those 2 little red shields. When I try to hit someone, that means that I have 2 of my guys in the way, so I need to get him a little closer. Now they no longer have that shield because I'm able to fire over their shoulder. And I kind of want to hit the person that's going to have the highest ability to hit. And they're all 44 and 48% chance to hit. Just kind of lame. But we hit him, so there's nothing to worry about. 71% chance to murder this guy. We are good to go, fam. I'm pretty happy with how this stats are coming out. Two-hander. Let's go ahead and see if we can knock this zombie out. Nope, no knockout. Ronald, let's see. Can you atone for your last misses last combat? Ooh, he hit him. Ooh, he hit him twice. Good job, man. Good job, Ronald. Okay, now we have Axe Fairy. Axe Fairy, we're gonna need you to really hurt this weird ganger because he's got a pitchfork, and pitchforks do a considerable amount of damage, especially early game. Okay, Dragon Flame, let's go ahead and get you to finish this guy off. Ooh, and he missed with that pitchfork. And awesome, this zombie is still netted, and as you can see, this weird ganger just came back from the dead. That's also an unfortunate ability that these guys have. Just because they're dead doesn't mean they're dead, unless you chop their head off. Alright, so this guy's done. And Garcia missed. Let's reload with Pasha and see if we can hit this pitchfork guy. Alright, we got him. Come on, Axe Fairy, finish him off. Oh, nope, almost. Ronald, good job, Ronald. And then we have two-hander again. Let's see if we can knock him out. Good job, homie. Okay, so we're gonna move Dragon Flame into combat with this weird ganger. He has a 91% chance to hit. It's because he also has a spear, which is gonna give him a bonus 20% chance to hit, and this guy is also netted. So this is pretty good. He hit him, but he didn't do a lot of damage because this guy's got good armor on him right now. Alright, so this is what, turn 4? This is turn 5. Let's go ahead and get Grecio into combat. Garcia, I need you to... Anytime you try to move out of combat with an enemy, they get a free attack. So hopefully this guy misses his attack. Alright, he missed, so that means I get to use my axe dude on this guy, which is going to do a tremendous amount of damage. Alright, so I completely took off his helmet and his armor, so he's only got HP left. He should be able to be killed within this turn. No guarantees though, because this is an RNG game. You never have any ability or say so in what happens. It's kind of lame, but it also makes this game extremely addicting. Alright, Ronald, you got 2 easy hits right here. Boom. Alright, I'm fine with that. As you can see, I just used knockout with two-hander. His name is two-hander. Knockout makes it so they have to skip their turn. So that's good. This guy's, not only is this guy netted, but he doesn't get a turn. And he's dead. So that's good. We have one last enemy. Let's see if we can finish him off. Oh, and he's really hurting this guy. Alright guys, so we finished our very first battle with our battle brothers, and we didn't really take too much damage except for Ronald. Ronald took a beating, but hey, you know what? That's the name of this game. That's how it happens sometimes. Did anybody level up? I don't believe anybody did. But we got some extra money. We got a pitchfork. We got a scramix, which is like a long knife. So we did pretty good in our haul for this episode. Let's go ahead and return back to this town so we can get our loot. Hopefully Ronald gets to heal up a little bit. And you know what? Let's go ahead and trade out his little ineffective wooden flail for something a little better. Let's go ahead and give him a butcher's knife. Butcher's cleaver. Alright, so he's good there. How about anybody else? Anybody else need a weapon? Two-hander. You know what, I kind of like you with that baseball bat. Let's keep you in there. Let's replace his net because he's going to need another one to stay up to par, to stay up to speed. Everything else, it looks like we can sell. I might keep, you know what, two-hander? Two-hander, you might get a two-handed weapon. Well, we'll see how that goes. Actually, let's go ahead and just, oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's go ahead and give two-hander the two-hander, and he can have the throwing nets just in case. So this guy's going to be our backline attacker. So either he starts off the game, actually let's have him start off the game with a net, and then if he needs to use his pitchfork, he can. Alright, so we're going to turn in this last quest that we just completed, the secure the graveyard, and we're going to collect our bounty. What a shame. You gain 430 crowns, and Krokenberg no longer has terrified villagers. Awesome. Let's go ahead and just sell the stuff that we do not need for this, what we just completed. I don't need these clothing. I don't need this scramix. So that's a little bit bonus gold. Oh, and they have more nets. Always buy nets. Always buy nets. We're gonna buy that extra shield. We're gonna buy that extra shield. We're gonna go ahead and give that shield to Grecio or Crescio. And other than that, guys, it looks like everything is gonna be. That's it for this episode. If you guys like what you saw today, go ahead and give me a like, maybe a subscribe even. If not, I appreciate you watching. I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. This has been my very first playthrough of Battle Brothers that I've recorded. Hopefully you guys like the content. If you have any suggestions, if you have any names that you'd like to be thrown in there, let me know in the comments below. Hopefully we can get you into the game by the next episode, but I only have so many slots, so first come, first serve. With that, you guys, I'm the Black Swan. Hope you guys had a good time. Keep an eye out for the next episode, and sayonara.